In this video, I want to talk about this new SBC that I picked up. It's the Radxa X2L, and it has an Intel Celeron processor integrated into this board. Basically, on this board, I've put Chrome OS Flex, which is kind of funny because I never expected to use that, but it's actually a really great OS that I just kind of liked, and I kind of got into it. So if I just close Chrome, for instance, and here you can see my diagnostics, I can actually run Linux apps, which is great. So I'm going to run Arduino through a virtual machine on Chrome OS Flex, and you'll see it do its thing and load up Arduino. It is a bit slow, but it's fine. This guy, well, there you go. Arduino is just loading up. But this guy has 4 gigs of RAM. And the way the virtual machine works, it allocates 2 gigs of RAM for the Linux virtual machine and 2 gigs for Chrome OS itself. And then you can put it in NVMe SSD, so it's at the bottom. The board gets really, really hot, so you definitely need a fan and you need a cooler and everything you got. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I need to sort that out. I don't have any fans for it, but it's very highly recommended that you get a fan because it's an Intel processor, it gets hot. The TDP is pretty low on it, so it's supposed to not, climb up and go into very high power draws. But it idles at 10. At least that's what other YouTubers were kind of quoting. But here's Arduino. I can hook up an ESP32 and code it with Arduino, which is pretty awesome. But I got 2 of these boards. So I've opened one of them, and here is it when it comes packed. You're gonna have to excuse me for the mess because I've been just doing a lot of prototyping, but really impressed by the board. I did put Ubuntu on it. Ubuntu kind of ate a lot of RAM, which I wasn't very pleased with. So kind of was like chugging at 2 gigs or 1.6 to 9 on average out of 4, just on idle, like me doing nothing. So when I put Chrome OS Flex on it, obviously Chrome OS takes 2 gigs away from the board for the virtual machine, but the virtual machine itself doesn't actually consume a lot. So if you use top, you can see that a gig is kind of free. Obviously I'm using almost a gig is free, but 2.7 is kind of allocated to it. So there is some sort of smarts going on with the allocation. I haven't tinkered around enough to see if I can change it. Obviously I would like to give all 4 gigs to the Linux machine, but that's not possible because it's a virtual Linux machine. But regardless, for my use case, it was pretty awesome. Anyways, if I load up like Chrome OS on its own, has YouTube, and it's kind of cool. Obviously, it's a cloud-based operating system, but the idea is that it can be loaded onto things that are small SBCs or small computers or old computers that don't have very beefy processors, and that's awesome. I think having a this OS that can be kind of bringing old things to life again and repurposing them rather than letting them be e-waste. At least that was a pitch for Chrome OS Flex, and I kind of like it. I like the vibe. But regardless, it is a very lightweight OS in my just initial testing. Very impressed with it. Something that can allocate 2 gigs of RAM away and still operate just like this is perfectly fine. It's great. You can see the temperatures are really hot. So 64 degrees is just average. It got up to 100 degrees when I was doing some like YouTubing or whatever, even just running Arduino stuff. I did do some LLM stuff on it as well because why not? And that's kind of what I was interested in anyways in the first place. Did some AI stuff on it as well, and it got really hot. But regardless, this is kind of my new toy that I've been playing with. And yeah, feel free to check out the Radxa X2L. It has lots of neat tricks, but yeah, I'll keep you posted. Well, if you enjoyed this video, thanks so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.